Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. It's me Vinod alone again. Tomorrow I'll try and answer some of your questions as I go through and mine them out and give you some answers which have been pending for a long time. So if you do have any more questions which I can add on to tomorrow's video, do put them down below and me and Sadhu will try to get some answers for you. Meanwhile, what are we going to talk about today is the inflation figures as it looms, the rate cut is happening or not. And of course, Oracle. Should you be buying it now or not? Because there's a lot of you wondering, is there a lot of more steam left in Oracle for you to think about? First, inflation. US inflation is where all eyes are on because right now it hits 2.9 and people are saying you can start feeling inflation in lots of places in the US. And the question remains, will the Fed cut the rate or not? Because he has said he's going to soften his stance and there is a rate cut for sure. The problem is 2019, 2020, the inflation, that is a basket of everything, not just the essentials and energy, of everything went down to almost zero. Then from there it peaked to 8.5 almost in the mid 2022s, and then it has dropped from there thanks to the interest rates going up. It dropped to around 2% almost. Now, thanks to the tariffs, it's crawled back up to almost 3. So this is the reason why the Fed has been holding on to these interest rates. But the flip of it is the job market, and the job market is what is forcing Fed its hand, and this is what will probably lead to the rate cut. Of course, the following question then follows: if the rate cut does come through, what happens with gold? What happens with other asset classes? Well, usually when rate cuts come through, that means there's more liquidity in the market because people can borrow at a cheaper cost. People who are hesitating to borrow will borrow at a cheaper cost. People who are already borrowed will refinance and probably take it at a lower cost and borrow more. So there's lots of ways liquidity will increase into the market. That means more cash in the market. If borrowing cost creates cheaper borrowing cost creates more cash in the market. Of course, what does that mean? There's more money chasing the same goods which are available, such as gold. Amount of gold on this planet is pretty fixed. We haven't devised any way to create lab-grown gold like diamonds. So till that date comes, which I don't think will come anytime soon, gold is fixed. So gold prices, more dollars chasing it, is going to push gold prices logically up. This is true with all other asset classes, which one ever you want to look at. So more dollars means more liquidity. The question remains, how much of this portion of liquidity will lean on gold? Is a question that begs, because the more money chase gold, that means more the gold prices will go up. If it's considerably more balanced, then the gold price surging may not go as violently up as expected. Anand and my personal opinion is you can expect gold to go to almost near 4,000 by end of the year if all these rates comes through, and considering the fact where the world is currently geopolitically and macroeconomically, gold will be expected to go to 4,000 if the rate cuts come through as expected. Meanwhile, pivoting to Oracle now. Should you be buying Oracle? Did you miss the initial burst and should you be diving into it right now? Oracle from Jan to June was below $200. July to just about last week, it was sitting around $250. Then it shot up in the famous one-day trade of all the way up to $340 before now some profit booking and cooling off happening and sitting around at $307. So what should you do? Why is this happening? Well, a large chunk of this is happening to the future of what they're saying is going to happen for Oracle in its future. Ellison has famously stood next to Trump and Sam Altman on the podium in the White House and has driven this whole idea of how important AI business is and how Oracle is partnering with OpenAI and the American government to provide much needed national security and global security for the free world by providing AI which is free and just. In that spirit, he had signed on to the Stargate project and he has signed an important contract with OpenAI for around $300 billion. What you got to realize this is Oracle has signed a contract with OpenAI for $300 billion, which is a 5-year deal. but all this pegs on OpenAI's own capacity to raise those finances. Right now, OpenAI is not profitable. ChatGPT is not profitable, but it has to keep raising funds. So, will they raise these $300 billion is a big question mark. If you do remember, Ellison has famously been a strong, naysayer of cloud computing, and Oracle missed the whole cloud computing bonanza when Amazon, AWS services, and Google and Microsoft, everybody jumped onto cloud. Oracle stayed away from cloud, saying, it's nothing, it's a no nonsense, it's a nonsense burger. But then he's taken a U turn as soon as AI came to the scene, and now cloud computing is very important as far as AI is concerned. Now, the question remains, revenues in Oracle had stalled till 2022. After 2022, he's managed to pluck people from Amazon, people from Google, people from Microsoft, who have been helping him build these data centers and who have been helping him get these massive contracts which are required for him to justify the expenses in what he's doing in cloud. So far it sounds like the famous saying that they build it and they will come again, like what we were talking about Meta and Facebook. It seems to be Oracle seems to be doing that, because currently if you look at it, 80% of Oracle's revenue comes from rest of Oracle and only 20% is from cloud. He is projecting by 2029 that it will be 50-50 and it will be over $100 billion in revenue for Oracle. The main thing is, what you got to understand is, right now, reason why Oracle's thing shot up was Oracle's order pipeline, future orders which are going to come to Oracle, exceeds its rivals by a mile. Google right now has around $100 billion in future order pipeline, Amazon has around 200, and Microsoft has around 350, while Oracle has probably around $420 billion. But that said, just because you have a contract doesn't mean the margins are there and you can deliver on all these contracts. So a lot of this pegs on the fact, can Ellison provide the infrastructure that's required to deliver these contracts? We all know what's happening in the chips and the demand on chips and the chip market, how it's heated up. The question remains, can Oracle secure these chips and keep a margin, right? That is one side of it in terms of supply. The other side is, when you're providing the services to the customers and you're billing them, what is your margin on top of that? Has he discounted it to make sure he wins these contracts to the point where there's nothing left on the table for Oracle? Is another question that remains. You have people who are within Oracle, who are strong pro Oracle, who are saying there's enough and it demands, and they feel from here Oracle is a bargain still and you should be running with Oracle. Then you have people who are sitting on the sidelines watching this and saying, wait a second, I don't see the numbers adding up to where it needs to be to justify any further growth in Oracle. So this is where it lies when it comes to Oracle. So I hope I've given you enough food for thought when it comes to should you be buying Oracle now or not. It all depends on, from here on, how much can he make. And there remains the question. Like I've always said, a stock price depends on what is the earning capacity in the future. And in AI, it is very difficult to predict future earnings right now, because there is still a lot of fog and cloud when it comes to AI. LLMs, like Anand said, and small learning models when it comes to which is going to win, how much will it win, how much AI will actually be used, and which companies are providing the right kind of AI which will be implemented by large corporates who are willing to pay the fees for this. All of this is up in the air. Even Microsoft is still trying to figure it out when it comes to Copilot and all the things offerings in Copilot. So I would say we should be prudent and wait and watch. If you manage to secure some Oracle shares at a lower price, but especially if it was below 200, I'm sure you're feeling rather peachy about yourself right now. And I would say sit and wait and don't make any hasty moves as yet. And if you had missed the Oracle bus and you feel like, oh my God, I should definitely jump into it now, I would say wait and watch again, and not to jump in head first and hit a concrete wall. So this would be my personal views as far as Oracle is concerned. Like I said in the beginning of the video, will be answering your questions and your comments on the next two videos. So if you have any of them, do put them down and I will answer them tomorrow Me and Sadhu will get you some answers for those. Thanks for being with me on Be Rich today. Hope you had a wonderful day and a wonderful evening, whichever part of the world you're in. From all of us in the studio here, we wish you a wonderful evening. Good night.